Alex, it happened again. I promised myself just 5 minutes before bed. Now it's been almost 2 hours. I have a huge meeting tomorrow, and my mind is a blank slate. This feeling, it's not sadness. It's not happiness. It's just emptiness. Like my brain just ran a pointless marathon, and now it's completely exhausted. Like it's rotting from the inside.
The feeling Alex just described is one that many of us have experienced. A terrifying emptiness after hours of scrolling. This isn't ordinary fatigue. It's a symptom of a silent epidemic happening inside the minds of an entire generation. Scientists call it by many complex names, but the internet has a much blunter term: brain rot. This isn't just a funny slang word. It was named the Oxford Word of the Year, an acknowledgement that this condition has become a global crisis. So, what exactly is happening inside our brains when we scroll through TikTok? And, more importantly, is there a way to rescue our minds before it's too late? Welcome to Asia Podcast. Today, we aren't just going to define a concept. We're going to join Alex on a surgical procedure for the mind, to understand the enemy and find a path to reclaiming control of our lives. Part 1. The Dopamine Thief. The sophisticated addiction mechanism of social media. To understand why Alex, an intelligent and ambitious person, can't break free from his phone, we need to understand a legal drug that our own brain produces: dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure hormone, but more accurately, it's the reward anticipation hormone. The brain releases dopamine not when we get a reward, but when we expect a reward is coming. It creates a feeling of craving, compelling us to take action. And platforms like TikTok have become masters at exploiting this mechanism. Think of every swipe Alex makes as pulling the lever on a slot machine. He doesn't know what the next video will be. It might be boring, but it might also be hilarious or fascinating. This unpredictability, the variable reward schedule, is the most powerful driver of addiction. Alex's brain is in a constant state of anticipation, and every time it wins with a good video, it gets a hit of dopamine, making him want to scroll again. And so, 5 minutes turns into 2 hours. He's no longer scrolling for entertainment. He's scrolling because his brain has been trained to hunt for its next dopamine fix. Part 2. A junk food diet for the mind. The consequences of brain rot. What has this constant diet of easy dopamine hits and low-quality content done to Alex's mental, digestive system? A. Brain fog and the collapse of focus. Alex's story continues. The next morning, he's at his office trying to write a marketing plan. He stares at a blank laptop screen. The sound of colleagues typing surrounds him, but his mind is a chaotic mess. He can only sit for 5 minutes before feeling restless and unconsciously reaching for his phone.
Focus. Just write one sentence. But my head feels like it's full of fog. Every idea just slips away. I have to read the same email 3 times to understand it. What is wrong with me?
Alex's brain has become accustomed to processing information in 15-second chunks. It has lost the muscle of sustained attention. Imagine eating only candy and chips for a month. When you're finally served a complex, nutritious meal, your digestive system can't handle it. Similarly, Alex's brain, after being on a junk food diet of thousands of short videos, can no longer digest complex tasks that require deep thinking. B. The erosion of self-esteem and silent comparison. Syndrome. Alex is scrolling through Instagram. He sees an old friend's post about a promotion. Another person posts photos from a trip to Europe. A 20-year-old TikToker boasts about their 6-figure income. Alex puts his phone down, looks around his small apartment, and sighs. Host. The algorithm doesn't just show us what we like. It shows us what makes us feel envious because strong emotions keep us engaged longer. Logically, Alex knows these. Images are just the highlight reel, the edited version of other people's lives. But his emotional brain doesn't care about logic. It silently performs a calculation. My boring life versus their perfect lives. This silent comparison happens hundreds of times a day, like tiny drops of acid slowly eroding his self-esteem, creating invisible pressure and a feeling of being a failure. C. Procrastination and the self-destructive loop host. And here is the most cruel trap. Scroll TikTok. Brain gets tired, loses focus, can't finish work, feels bored and inadequate, seeks an escape from the stress on TikTok. Scroll TikTok. Alex is stuck in a self-destructive loop. He's using the thing that created the problem to try and solve the problem. The procrastination in his work and life isn't the cause. It's the consequence of a brain that has started to rot. After just 1 week, Alex noticed the number of times he mindlessly picked up his phone was cut in half. He wasn't forbidding himself. He was simply making the bad habit harder to perform. Step 2. Filling the void with a healthy diet. Without social media, Alex faced a new problem: boredom. His brain was screaming for a stimulus. This was the decisive moment. A montage shows Alex trying new activities. He picks up his old, dusty guitar and starts practicing again. He buys a couple of marketing books he'd always wanted to read. He calls a friend to play badminton instead of just texting. It's awkward at first, but slowly, he rediscovers joy. He was replacing the junk food dopamine with high-quality dopamine, the joy of mastering a difficult chord, the satisfaction of learning something new, the feeling of real connection when talking with a friend. These things provided a much deeper, more sustainable happiness. He was feeding his brain a healthy diet again.
If I want to stop eating snacks, I don't leave them on my desk. I put them in a high cupboard behind other boxes. It's the same thing. If I want to consume social media, I have to make it annoying. Every time I want to use it, I have to go to the App Store, re-download it, log back in. My brain's own laziness will become my ally.
Part 3. The Revolution in His Pocket. The journey to reclaim the brain one evening, after wasting another 3 hours, Alex hit rock bottom with self-loathing. He realized he couldn't go on like this. He decided this wasn't a fight against his phone. This was a fight to reclaim his own mind. And so he started a revolution, strategically. Step 1. Declaring independence with friction. Alex understood that willpower alone was not enough. He needed to change his environment. He applied the principle of increasing friction. Alex performs a series of actions. He deletes the TikTok and Facebook apps. He moves the Instagram and YouTube apps into a folder on the 5th page of his home screen. He turns off all notifications except for calls and texts from family. Step 3. Retraining the muscle of focus. This was the hardest step. Alex started practicing deep reading. He was taking his brain to the gym. Every page of the book, every long-form article was a weightlifting exercise for his neurons. He was retraining his ability to concentrate, analyze, and synthesize information. The brain fog began to lift. Ideas for his work started to come back. Conclusion: you are not the user. You are the product. Alexa's story reveals a critical truth. In the attention economy, if you are not paying for the product, you are the product. Your time, your focus, and even your emotional state are being sold to advertisers. Brain rot is not your fault. It is the intended result of a system designed to exploit our biological vulnerabilities. But realizing that means you also have the power to choose. The lesson isn't to delete all social media forever. It's to use it with intention. It's to transform yourself from a passive user into a tool operator. Start with the smallest steps today. Create friction. Hide your most addictive app in a folder that's hard to find. Schedule. Boredom. Set aside 15 minutes a day to do nothing. No phone, no TV. Let your brain rest and reset. Read something longer than 3 pages. The fight against brain rot is a fight to reclaim your right to think deeply, to feel genuinely, and to live an intentional life. Are you ready to take back your brain?